Hey, it's Rick. Welcome to the channel. I bought a bag of these wooden keychains from Amazon. I was thinking I could engrave these on the laser as a product to sell. I'm not sure what the design will be yet, but I know I'll need a fixture to hold them in place. I'm using light burn for the laser controller. I start by measuring the keychain with a set of digital calipers and create shapes in light burn to mimic these. I would normally create cut files in Illustrator since that has more tools, but this is a really simple design. When I've created the three shapes, I'll use the alignment tool to align all the shapes vertically. Then I'll use the Boolean function to turn all of them into one outline cut path. Here's my prototype. I prefer to create a single first so as not to waste a lot of materials. I had to cut this a few times, adjusting the size of the shape so that the keychain fits snug with no wiggle room. I should have cut these out of 1/4 inch MDF, but I've only got 1/8 inch at the moment, so I cut the top layer out twice to be glued together. It needs to be this thick because of how thick the keychain is and how its edges are rounded. You'll notice the backer piece is also cut out. This is so that if I want to cut all the way through the keychain instead of just engraving it, I won't ruin the whole thing. I'll just need to keep my cuts away from the edges. The keychain itself fits so snug it will need to be pulled out by the keyring. I think that's going to work well for my purposes. I decided to glue this one together as a test, and it's a good thing I did. You can see how I put glue in the wrong spot here and had to clean it off. That's a good thing to work out on the prototype. Now that I know my sizes are good, I can create a fixture that will hold a lot of them. I start by creating the outside cut edge, so I know how big of a piece of MDF I need. Lightburn has an array feature, so I'm going to use that to multiply this one shape 25 times. You could of course make this as large as you like. Be sure to write down the spacing for these if, like me, you need to create arrays of 2 different cut paths that need to line up with each other. This particular shape is for the top layers of the fixture. Remember, there's a different shape for the bottom layer. Once the layout is complete, I send all of it to the laser to cut. And this is the final result. Like I said, it would have been better to cut this from 1/4 inch MDF, but I just don't have any at the moment. The next thing I like to do is seal all the edges to keep the black char from getting all over the keychains and me. I'm using a Pache H single action airbrush with standard white glue that's been thinned with water. It's still pretty thick though, but with a large 1mm nozzle and high pressure, you can get it to spray. Once that's dry, it's time to assemble the pieces. I use standard wood glue and spread it thinly over the first piece, lining it up with the next and adding weights until it dries. I do the same for the next piece as well. Now, before I show you the final piece, let me explain why having a jig like this can really help you align your final design. If you use the original template and design your artwork over top of it in Lightburn, you can duplicate it using the same count and spacing, meaning that your designs will all line up and you won't have to manually manipulate anything. And this is the result. You can see how nicely the keychains fit. I'll post this file on my Etsy in case anybody wants it, but for now, that's it. Don't forget to hit all the buttons on your way out, and thanks for watching.